What's up, you guys, and welcome back to my channel. I can't believe it's already the end of 2021, but I'm super excited for everything I have planned already for 2022, and what better way to keep it all organized than some new year bullet journal spreads. So to start off my new fresh journal, I made a very minimal yearly cover page by writing out the year 2022 in a simple cursive, stacking each word on top of each other. And I also decided to make a simple border around the words, but only connected 2 of the 4 corners. I like to use a new journal at the start of a new year, even if I don't fill out my previous one, because I just like to have a nice fresh start to the new year. Plus, this way it's a lot easier to keep all of my journals organized. The first spread that I included in my 2022 setup is the Year at a Glance spread. This page is such a lifesaver when planning new months because I don't have to waste time by constantly looking up the calendar on my phone. The first time I made this spread, I didn't think I would use it at all, but it's probably my most used spread for my 2021 setup, so I highly recommend making one of these if you don't already. For the layout, I put the header on a separate page from all of the calendars because I wasn't able to fit it all on one page this time, which makes me kind of sad because now this one doesn't match the headers on the other spreads, but I'll survive. Then I highlighted the spaces where I wanted to write in the months, and I decided to write out the full month in all capital letters. Next, I added the days of the week underneath where I wrote the month and defined that section by drawing a single line above and below the days. Then lastly, I wrote in all of the numbers for each day of the month. If I condensed the calendars a little bit, I probably could have fit the header on the same page, but I also didn't want it to look overcrowded. I like how each calendar has a defined space, and I think it would have looked a little messy if I tried to squeeze in the header. But if you have a larger journal than mine, then you should definitely be able to fit the header. For reference, I like to use the A5 size journal, and it's the only size I ever actually use. You can get my exact journal from the Notebook Therapy website, linked in the description, and you can also use my code BUJO by LOAD10 for 10% off. If you're not sure what journal to get for your next one, or if you're just starting out, I always recommend Notebook Therapy journals. I've been using them for years, and the quality is just unmatched. Plus, they have so many super cute covers, different sizes, and they come out with new journals all the time. The next spread is my goals page. I like to write down my goals for the year because it helps me visualize them a lot better, and it also helps remind me what they are even if I forget them throughout the year. I believe that writing down your goals helps you achieve them easier and or faster. That's at least my experience, so if you haven't tried this before, then I suggest trying it out for this year. And if you don't reach one at the end of the year, you can always add it to the next year. But for the header, I added a banner centered at the top of the page, colored it in with the same gray color I used on the previous spread, and wrote goals across the whole banner. This was the header I wanted to use on the Year at a Glance page but didn't get to. Then I split the rest of the page into 2 sections, one for personal goals and the other for professional goals. And I wrote these subheaders in cursive, centered on the page, and extended both ends to the edges of the paper. On the other side of the spread, I made a Milestones page. I had this page in my setup from the last year, and I loved filling it in when I hit big milestones on my socials, so I decided to include it this year as well. I first started by making the same banner as on the goals page, except I wrote milestones in the banner instead of goals. And you'll see when it's finished, but I made these 2 pages look similar so that they form one cohesive spread. One way I did that was by using the same header style, same banner, size, color, and handwriting, and the other way was by formatting the subheaders the same way between both spreads. I want to track my milestones for both YouTube and Instagram, so I wrote the subheaders in line with the ones from my goals page and extended both ends to the edges of the pages so that they connect with the other side. That sounds kind of confusing, so hopefully it all makes sense while you're watching the video. To finish the spread, I filled in the 2 milestone sections with notification icons. This is how I tracked them last year, and I thought it was too cute not to do again. So I put a few rows of icons under each section and then wrote in upcoming milestones for my respective social platforms. Once I hit a milestone, I'll color in the icon and write the date I hit that milestone underneath it. This is such a cool thing to look back on and see how far I've gone throughout the year. The next spread I decided to include for this year is the future log. I didn't use this spread as much as the others in 2021, but I have a lot more planned already for 2022, so I think it might actually end up being useful for this year. So I started by making the banner at the top of the page, coloring it in with the gray marker and writing future into the banner. I also made the same banner at the top of the next page and wrote log into that banner to complete the entire header. If you're wondering, I don't normally have a theme for my yearly setups because a lot of spreads take up the whole page. I also don't like to use a lot of color since all of my monthly spreads use different colors. This is just how I like to make them right now, but that doesn't mean you can't add some drawings or color to your own pages. I might try something different in the upcoming years, but for now I'm going to stick with keeping them simple. With the remaining space, I split the 2 pages into 12 sections, one for each month, and then I highlighted the top of each section in the space where I wanted to write in the months. I always like to highlight the space before writing because it minimizes the chance of the ink smudging, and it always makes it look a lot cleaner. After that, I wrote in the months in all capital letters and wrote in all the numbers for each day underneath. I chose not to include the days of the week above the numbers since I already had them on the year at a glance page. Plus, it gives an extra row of space for writing, but feel free to include it if you want to. The last spread I wanted to include for my 2022 journal setup was a memories page. Last year, I made my year in Polaroid spread and I did not keep up with it at all, so I thought that writing my favorite memories for each month might be easier for me to do. So I started the layout by making the same header as the previous spreads and colored it in with the gray marker. I then wrote memories inside the banner and of 2022 underneath the banner, and I stretched that part out so that it fits under the whole middle section of the banner. I really do want to keep up with this spread throughout the year because I think it would be super fun to look back on all of the fun things I did that year. If you have a spread like this, please let me know in the comments how you're able to keep up with filling it in because I'll definitely need the help. For the layout, I just sectioned off the rest of the spread into 12 different sections and then colored in the space I left for writing in the months with the same gray color I've been using for all of the spreads. And to finish the spread, I just wrote in the first 3 letters of each month in all capital letters, but I do think that writing out the months in pretty much any handwriting would look good with this page. If you're someone who likes to write down a lot of memories or details for a spread like this, you could make it a 2-page spread by adding another banner on the next page and moving the of 2022 to that second banner, and then increasing the size of each monthly section by putting 6 on each page. Because I don't anticipate myself writing too much on the memories page, I kept it to just 1 and added the quote, "The best time for new beginnings is now," on the other side. But that's all for my 2022 bullet journal setup video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and got some good ideas for your own journal. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video.